All righty, class. I'm going to get started here in about a minute. Something I said a little bit earlier, I just want to make sure that you all saw my email yesterday about bringing an item that resembles a broomstick. If you have a broomstick or a PVC pipe, right, a broomstick works really well for this warm-up here, especially if you take the head of the broom off, if you have one of those where you can just kind of twist it off there. You might notice I'm in a different room. All right, this is actually the second dance studio that we have in Forker. I didn't know until Monday afternoon that there are two dance studios in this building. I've been coming here for 6 years. I just found out that this room was here. And this is the one I was supposed to be in. So hopefully the lighting is good. Hopefully you can hear my voice well. It might be a little echoey in here. So just let me know if there's any issues with the sound or the lighting or anything like that. But I'm just gonna have us go ahead and get started here with our warm up. Now really quickly, one more thing before we start our workout today, we're gonna be doing for those of you who've been here in the summer and previously, we're gonna be doing our frontal plane work. So that means our lateral leg swings paired with our pillow squeeze, all right? So I just wanna make sure, for anybody who is just joining now, those of you who are in the class with us now, who are brand new or gonna be watching on the YouTube video later, for one exercise in our workout, we have a pillow squeeze where we work the inner thigh muscles. I have this exercise donut here that works really well, but in the past, I've had people bring just like a pillow to the class, something that they can just kind of squeeze between their legs to work those inner thigh muscles there. So that'll be something for later on in the workout. But I'd like to get started now with this warm up here. All right. I'm gonna push this chair off to the side. So I've got my broomstick, quote unquote, my PVC pipe, and I'm gonna have us start off with a little bit of wrist and forearm mobility. Now that's an aspect of movement that we don't typically focus on a lot, but I wanna make sure that we get a little bit of that today. And the idea of using the stick is we're going to actually get it moving so that the momentum of the stick is able to kind of push our body in a way that it will help us gain some mobility, because we might be able to move our wrists and forearms back and forth pretty well on our own. But if we get the momentum of the stick going here, like say with this wrist kind of forearm twist exercise, the momentum on the ends of the stick might be able to push our wrist and forearm past a range of motion that we might not be able to get on our own, and that can kind of loosen things up and increase mobility in this area of our body. So the first exercise I'm gonna have us do in that warm-up is I'm gonna have us grab the whatever item you have there, broomstick, pipe, whatever you got, in the center, and we're just going to twist it back and forth. Turn the palm up to the ceiling, and then bring the palm back down to the floor. All right. Now, if you're feeling any pain with this, slow down a little bit, right? If you're going faster, that stick's going to have more momentum. It's going to push your wrist and forearm a little more. We're going to go for about 20 seconds here. Probably been going for about 5 or 10 already. There we go. If your arm's getting tired, you can bend your elbow and hold your arm in a little closer. There we go. See how my arm's bent about 90 degrees there? 3, 2, 1. Relax, very good. Now, as we go into our second set here, I'm going to pin my video on there. There we go. And we're gonna go into the second half of this, all right, for 20 more seconds. All right, again, I can hold this arm here or hold it out. Let's go ahead and turn that palm up and down, right? Feel that stretch. When you get to the end range of motion on your stretch, you're gonna feel that stick wants to keep going. You're gonna feel that push, feel that stretch there in the forearm and the wrist. 3 seconds left. 3, 2, 1, relax. Very good. Now, I have a second exercise that's very similar to that, and that's gonna be our wrist deviations, okay? Now, we don't really think about deviating the wrist. That's where if you see me from the side here, I'm going to bend my wrist so that my pinky is going down to the floor. and then I'm gonna bend my wrist the opposite direction so that my thumb is going up to the ceiling, okay? Kind of like a handshake, but instead of keeping the wrist firm, now we're bending it up and down. And I can, again, grab the stick in the center and move my wrist up and down and have the ends of the stick push my wrist into a little further range of motion, all right? I'd like to go for 20 more seconds here. Go ahead and start if you haven't already. There we go. And again, we can bend the elbow here. Just be careful if your arm's getting tired and you want to bend the elbow to let the arm and shoulder rest. Just make sure you don't bonk yourself on the head with the stick, right? 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. Now a little front view here. I like to give front and side views of different exercises when I can. Just do the same thing on the other side. See how I'm kind of pointing the stick forward on one end and then pointing the other end back behind me. All right. Letting my shoulder rest here by keeping my elbow nice and bent. Keeping my arm in close. A little side view again. There we go. 3, 2, 1, relax. Very nice. So I think the warm-up is a great opportunity to kind of work on assistance work, right? That type of work that we just did is assistance work. It's not a big focus in the workout, but we do want to take time here and there to kind of squeeze that stuff in. Now, the next exercise I have for us is going to be called our back scratch, okay? And this is going to be our assisted back scratch because it's going to involve the stick, okay? So if you remember our normal back scratch test, that's going to involve bringing one arm over and the other arm down and around, right? We're trying to touch our fingertips together here while keeping our posture. You see here from the side, I'm not slouching. I'm keeping my chest out. I'm pinching my shoulders together, staying nice and tall as I try to reach my fingertips. Now, I'm better on my right side than I am on my left. That's because I'm right-handed. That's pretty normal, okay? Now, where the stick comes in is if I try to place this stick on my back here, I can grab up top and I can grab down low. The wider your grip is here, class, the easier this is going to be, all right? If I want to make this a little tougher, maybe get a little more of a stretch, what I'm going to do is kind of narrow my grip out, right? Bring my hands close together. And now where we actually get this part of the movement is I'm going to use my right hand to pull my left hand up, and then I'm going to use my left hand to pull my right hand down. You see how I'm kind of using the stick to once again facilitate a little larger range of motion than I might be able to get on my own. All right? So if you've already started, go ahead and start. We'll do one side for 20 seconds, and then we'll do the other side for 20 seconds, all right? Go ahead and start with me if you haven't already. Just gently pull on one end, and then pull on the other. Feel those shoulder muscles stretching out there. Go to a point of mild discomfort, right? Never pain. We never want to go to a point where we feel pain in our body. Just mild discomfort. 3, 2, 1, relax. Very good. Now, from here, class, as I fiddle with my stopwatch, we're going to switch hands. So if you did your dominant side up top the first time, you might have had it a little easier for that first set. Now, put your non-dominant hand up top. It might be a little bit more of a difficult time moving up and down, but we can still facilitate that movement and get a good stretch. So 20 more seconds here. Oops, as I drop my stopwatch. Ready? Go ahead. There we go. Pulling up and pulling back down. I'm going with a little more of a wider grip here to make it easier on my shoulders. For those of you who are new to this class, as I give a side view here, I have very bad shoulders. Part of that has to do with my hypermobility. I have a lot more mobility than I need. And I also have sustained a few shoulder injuries in my day. 3, 2, 1, relax. To the point where I know I'm going to need to have surgery on this shoulder. Like, that's a given. I might be able to spare this shoulder if I keep doing work to stabilize my shoulder muscles. Now from here, class, what I want to do is go into a rotational warm-up, okay? And this is going to mimic some of the exercises that we're going to be doing later in the workout. So what I'm going to have us do is hold the stick out in front. I'm going to grab with my left hand, the palm will be down. With my right hand, when I grab the stick, the palm will be up, okay? So now I'm going to bring this stick to my left side here, okay? I'm going to find a good athletic position. My hips and knees are going to be bent. Back's going to be nice and flat. And I want you to imagine here that we're shoveling snow, okay? Or shoveling dirt, whatever you got to shovel there in your imagination, all right? So as I'm in my preparation of my movement, you see I'm getting a good twist of my torso. I'm dipping my shoulder down. I'm bringing this stick to my left hip pocket, all right? And I am going to scoop that snow there, all right? I'm going to scoop and twist my torso, and I'm getting a little extra twist in there. We're gonna imagine that we're scooping the snow or the dirt, and we're gonna throw it back over our shoulder, okay? That's gonna really give us that full range of motion twist there, okay? And then we're gonna come right back down to the start. And I want you to remember that belly button is gonna follow that stick everywhere it goes, so we get that rotation there with those core muscles, all right? So we're gonna go for 8 reps together here, all right? So I'm starting off twisted, my stick's at my left hip pocket. We're gonna get 8 reps together in 3, 2, and 1. Ready? Shovel that snow, get that good scoop. Back to the start, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Very good. Now to get to the other side, I'm now going to have my right hand with the palm facing down. My left hand will now be with the palm facing up. All right, so now that stick's going to come to the right side of my body. I'm going to have my belly button twisted, and we're going to get 8 more shovel scoops on the other side. All right, let's go ahead and go right into it. Ready? Get that good twist. There's 1 right there. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. There we go. I had to try really hard not to go to 10 there. I'm so used to having us go to 10 on every set that we do. Now from here, class, I want to get a little bit more lower body involved. This one's going to be a kind of a 2-part exercise, all right? The first part of it's still going to involve our upper body. And that's going to be our anterior raise, okay? If you remember, I'm keeping the arms nice and straight, keeping a nice posture here with my upper back, and I'm bringing this thing up to shoulder height and back down. Now, where the lower body gets involved here is we're going to add a nice forward step to this, and this step is going to be at a range of motion that's comfortable for you, okay? But I also want us to be thinking about something I talked about on Monday, where we talk about getting functionally longer, okay? So I'm going to combine this anterior raise with a step forward, okay? If you want to, you can kind of call back to your catch step. Remember on Monday where we kind of move forward, had our foot come out and catch us, okay? Move your body forward, kind of get a good lean, have the body catch you there, all right? We can kind of work on that here as well. But what I want you to combine, is have the raise come up with the step, all right? So we don't have to do the catch step here. Just get a good range of motion that's comfortable for you because we are still warming up the body, all right? I like to go for 20 seconds with this one here, all right? Go ahead and start if you haven't already. 20 seconds here. As you can see, I've got some of these hand railings here. I think that's where I'm not as very experienced with dance classes or anything like that, but I think I've seen that where the ballet students are stretching or doing balance work or something there. So I'm going to have to be careful I don't hit that with my stick like I just did a few seconds ago. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. Now, the last part of our warm-up here is going to involve a lateral leg swing, okay? So, with this lateral leg swing, I want you to find a wall or a chair if you feel you need it. Something else I've also done before is having the stick be something that I'm pressing into the ground and holding on to, and then I can go into my swing, okay? Now, use whatever you need to, stick, chair, or wall, or you can even be out on the open floor if you're really confident in your balance, okay? Now, with the lateral leg swing, we're gonna get about 20 seconds on each side, and I am going to have my leg cross my plant leg, right? This is my plant leg here. This leg is gonna cross because I wanna get my inner thigh muscles working here, as well as my outer thigh muscles, okay? Now, one last thing before we go, I wanna make sure that we're not kicking so far out here that our torso leans to one side, okay? If I get my center of mass going this way, my brain's gonna want my torso to go this way to balance it out so that I stay over my plant leg, all right, so I don't fall over. So get a good stretch out of this here. Go ahead and start with me if you haven't already. 20 seconds on each side, and just work on getting a good range of motion where you're feeling mild discomfort on that stretch and not having your torso go all the way to one side or the other. 3, 2, 1. Relax, very good. Let's go ahead and go to the other side. Shake out your plant leg a little bit if you need to, all right? Let's go ahead and go right into this last half. Ready? Go ahead. Get that good leg swing in there, lateral leg swing. I love leg swings because, and I might have said this on Monday too, we get really good activation in the muscles on our plant leg too, right? We're not just getting a good stretch in the swing leg, but we're also getting good muscular work in the plant leg to keep us upright. 3, 2, 1. As I lose my balance, relax. Very good. Now from here, class, that's a little bit longer warm-up. It's a little longer today because I'm still explaining things for those of us that are new to the class. But that warm-up will actually typically run a little longer, even as we get more experienced with it as well. Okay, but now the extension of our warm-up, that transition to our workout, the balance work, okay? I don't have my whiteboard today, so I'm just gonna use my hands to talk about those stances, okay? The level 1 progression, I'm just gonna use my hands, are gonna be the feet. We have our wide stance, right? Getting the feet out a little wider than shoulder width, okay? Then we have the narrow stance, getting the feet in close to each other, okay? The next stance from that is we're getting the feet out a little wider again, but now one foot's out in front and one foot's in back, okay? And it really doesn't matter to me which foot you have in front. We're gonna get 4 sets in, so that if you choose this one or the last one, you can get 2 sets with the right foot in front, 2 sets with the left foot in front, all right? And the last one here is the tandem. So again, we're getting that narrow stance by having one foot in front and one in back, and we're having the toes kind of line up along the heel there between the 2 feet, all right? So hopefully my little hand show helped with that one. I don't have my whiteboard today, but we're gonna extend the set time too. Instead of 10 seconds, I wanna go for 20, all right? So I'm going to move back a little bit. Might tilt my camera up a little bit as well. There we go. So pick one of those 4 stances that you want to do. Remember, we also are going to be moving our upper body as well. So whether you want to have both arms coming up and back down, or just one arm at a time coming up and back down, that's your choice as well. Okay, but I want you to pick between the wide, narrow, staggered, or tandem. Okay, I'm going to go with staggered. All right, we're gonna go for 20 seconds here with the arm movement in that stance. In 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead. I'm going both arms together. Do whichever exercise is appropriate for you. Just like on Monday, I can feel my body is kind of swaying back and forth a little bit here as I change the position of my center of mass over my base of support. All right. Checking my time. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. Take a second here. If you're in the wide or narrow stance, just keep in that stance for the next 3 sets. If you're going with a staggered stance, you can go ahead and switch feet here or tandem Go ahead and switch feet if you'd like to. All right? We're going to go for 20 more seconds in 3, 2, and 1. Ready? Go ahead. Both arms up, both arms down. One thing to remember, I said it on the lateral leg swing. Remember to have a wall or chair next to you if you need it. And we're going to breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. Now, once again, switch feet if you need to. Let's go ahead and go right into this third set. Ready? 20 more seconds. I'm going to go one arm at a time here. Very good. Nice, slow, and controlled, right? We don't need to be going like that, right? It's going to look like one of those, oh gosh, what are those things called? 3, 2, 1. Relax. I like those inflatable things with the floppy arms at like the car dealerships or something like that. Yeah, we don't need to be looking like that. Just nice and controlled there. Let's get our last set here. Switch those feet one more time. We're going to go into it, the last set. Go ahead. Remember to breathe. It is important to breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. If we breathe in through the mouth constantly, breathe in and out, we're going to get different muscles in our chest working, which can actually harm our posture, right? So that's why it's important to breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. Checking my time. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. A little longer than 20 seconds there, but that's okay. So now our power set. What I'm going to do is I'm going to skip those 3 kind of pre-levels to on our progression from Monday. We're going to go right into our catch step. All right. So I'm going to turn here. I have a wall right here. If I move my camera in toward the wall there, you'll see it. Yep, kind of got my little corner there. What I want you to do is, if you feel the need to have that wall there on our catch step, right, we're leaning forward and having a foot come out to catch us. If you need that wall there to kind of help catch your balance, do that, okay? Move your body there. But what I want to do is go for about 25 seconds here today. We're going to let our body lean forward, catch on the right, come back to the start, body leans forward, catch on the left. And remember, we're working on getting functionally longer and increasing the speed of the contraction in our lower body muscles, right? That's how we get that power. That's how we get the muscle fiber types that we want so that we can maintain the strength that we need to function during the day, all right? So we're gonna do this for 2 sets of 25 seconds, all right? And I'm gonna superset it with another exercise here that I'll explain. But we're gonna go 25 seconds here in 3, 2, and 1. Ready? Lean forward, get that quick step. Come right back to the start. Lean forward, get that quick step. There we go. Just alternate back and forth. We're going for time instead of number of reps so that you can go at your own pace. There we go. 5 seconds left. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. So like I said, I'm going to superset this with a different exercise, okay? And I'm going to just move this away from that wall for our second set there. The exercise I want to pair with that today, we're going to do 2 sets of this one as well, is our hip thrust, okay? Now, this is one that we have done in the past, but I want you to use your heavy dumbbells for this one this time, okay? We've used the stability ball before, but I actually want us to use the heavier dumbbells today. We're going to go for 6 reps, and we're going to get set up in our athletic position, okay? So my back is flat, my chest is up and out, shoulders are pinched, hips and knees are bent, and I'm going to work on thrusting my hips forward. Now remember the anterior raise we did earlier where we lifted the stick up with the arms, all right? And everything else kind of stayed in place. Okay, that's going to be the opposite here. We're going to get these dumbbells to come up high without the work of the shoulders, okay? Because of the powerful contraction we get at our hip muscles with our glutes and our hamstrings, that energy is going to be able to push these dumbbells up high enough to where my shoulders don't really have to do a whole lot of work, okay? Really, the only thing that my upper body's doing is keeping these dumbbells from flying out of my hands as I go, okay? So we're gonna get 6 of these reps together. Go ahead and find your athletic position here, okay? We wanna have these hips good and bent so we have extra range of motion to thrust forward, all right? We're gonna get started in 3, 2, and 1. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Very good. Now, let's go back to the catch step, okay? And again, I'm not gonna turn the camera this time. We're just gonna pretend I've got my wall here, all right? So 25 more seconds. Remember to really let the body lean forward, okay? It might feel kind of uncomfortable to let yourself just kind of fall forward, all right? I would say it might be kind of similar to when I was learning how to jump off the diving board. It was kind of scary, all right? This isn't as extensive as that, right? I want you to kind of get out of that comfort zone here. Let your body fall forward gently and get that step out there to catch yourself, okay? 25 more seconds in 3, 2, and 1. Ready? There we go. Alternate between right and left. Try to get a good big step if you can, right? We're working on getting functionally longer. Checking my time. Got 8 seconds to go. Keep it up. There we go. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very nice. Now let's go back to that hip thrust one more time, and then we're going to go into the resistance training supersets that I have for us today, class. Now the hip thrust, one more thing I want to talk about is pinching the glutes together, okay? You've probably heard in the past, right, somebody tell you to pinch your shoulders together, maybe when you're doing a row, okay, or some other sort of a shoulder exercise, right? You pinch your shoulder blades together to make our stabilizing muscles here stronger, okay? Well, we can do that same thing with our glutes. Now, I'm not going to show you me pinching my glutes, right? I'm not going to do that, but I just want to conceptually have you think about, right? You can even try it here with me, okay? Pinch the glutes together and then relax, okay? Pinch the glutes together and then relax. And you feel, when you pinch those glutes together here, class, you're going to feel those muscles working. All right. Now, where I want to take that into, put that into the hip thrust is from your ready position, we're going to thrust forward. When you get to this full extension here, right, we have these dumbbells coming up because of the powerful contraction. We're going to combine a nice glute pinch at the top. Okay, we're not going to freeze up here like I am. We're just going to come up and right back down. So it's got to be a quick pinch, right? As soon as you get to the end range of motion, pinch, and then come right back to the start, okay? And you'll feel a difference there between the first set and the second set. When you add that glute pinch, you're gonna feel more work having been done, okay? So 6 more reps here. We're gonna get started in 3, 2, and 1. Ready? Coming up, pinch, back down, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Very good. Almost went to 10 there again, right? My brain wants to go to 10. Just 6 reps. So that's it for our power superset. And like I said on Monday, I want to keep the catch step and the hip thrust going for Friday again this week and all 3 days next week, okay? I want to get really good at those exercises here. They're so important for us. Now, going into our strength superset, right? So strength and power are 2 different things, all right? We're getting stronger from both, but now here we're focusing more on strength than getting faster, having more power, okay? And here's where I have my chair, and we have a progression here that we're going to work on, okay? And I've changed this a little bit from what we've done in the past. So level 1 of my progression, we're working on the outer hip and thigh muscles here. Okay, so in order to do that, we are pushing outward against a resistance, okay? So my first exercise here is going to involve sitting in my chair with good posture. If I turn, right, we want to have the chest up, shoulders pinched. You're going to hear me say that a lot. okay? Hopefully it doesn't get annoying, but I say it all the time. I also remind you to breathe all the time, okay? Now, what we're gonna do is we can start off with our hands. If I put my hands on the outsides of my knees, I'm going to shove my knees out against my hands. We call that manual resistance, okay? Now that's an option that we can do there, or if you have a resistance band, and there's two different types, there's a band like this, where it's a straight line with handles on the end. If you have one of those, what we can do is loop that band up and step through it, okay? Now I can place that around my knees. I'm gonna have to hold the band together, right, or it's gonna come apart, and then I can shove my knees out there, okay? Now, if we want to go with if you have a loop band, one that's a full circle, I should have brought one today to show you all. We can just double that one up and put it around the knees. You won't have to hold it together, right, because it's already a full circle. But what I'd like to do there, class, is have us press the knees out. And what we've done in the past is we've gotten an isometric contraction there, right? Shove my knees out and we hold it, okay? Today I want to try having us go out and back in, out and back in for a certain number of reps, okay? And that certain number of reps, I'll tell you all what that is after I explain the progression, okay? The progression to that exercise is going to be a lateral leg raise, okay? Now, this is going to be similar to our lateral leg swing, okay? I'm going to use my chair or my wall here for extra support if I want it. And I'm going to work on staying nice and tall, pushing my leg out. I don't have to go very far, right? If I go out too far, now I'm leaning again, okay? We're going to work on also not just going straight out. So if you see me from the side, I'm going in a straight line outside of my body, okay? I can get good work there, okay? But we can get even better work if I push out and back slightly, okay? So I'm almost kind of going diagonally back behind me as I push to the outside of my body, okay? And as you see, there's something else that happens is my toes turn out too. And there's a difference in muscular work that goes on between this and this, okay? So I want you to think about that as you're going. We're going to work on getting 10 reps on each leg for this exercise. We'll do 10 on the right leg, and then we're going to go right into doing 10 on the left, okay? If you are more comfortable doing the seated version, okay, you are going to do 20 of these, okay? And the reason why you're doing 20 is because I want you to be lined up, have a same start point and same end point as the other people who are choosing the other exercise, right? So that way we start together and we end together. So 20 reps in the seated version of that, 10 reps on each side for the leg raise, okay? And we're gonna superset an exercise with this, but I wanna go into this first set because I've been talking for a little while. So I always demonstrate the leg raise instead of the seated version of this. I wanna give you all time, figure out which one you wanna do and get set up, either the seated version or the standing. And I'm gonna give us a couple more seconds here. We're gonna get 20 reps there, 10 reps here in 3, 2, and 1. All starting together. Coming out, back in. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Going out and slightly back. 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. If you're doing the standing version, just switch legs, go right into it. Everybody's got rep number 11 here. And there's 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Go ahead and relax, and then everybody relaxes together, right? So I have it set up that way so that both exercises overlap over each other perfectly, right? Everybody knows when you're starting, everybody knows when you're ending, okay? Now the exercise I want to superset with that, all right? And again, we'll go quicker as we get more comfortable here, is going to be our sword pull, okay? And this is going to look very similar to our broomstick shuffling, all right? I'm going to grab my heavier dumbbells. I would grab both of them, okay? So the heavier set of dumbbells that you have, you're going to hold them in your hands here, okay? We're going to get set athletically, and we're going to bring them to our hip pocket on one side, just like we did with the stick, okay? Now, as I rotate, right, my belly button's going to follow my hands. I'm going to bring these dumbbells up like I'm pulling a sword from its sheath, and then I'm going to come right back down to the start, okay? The rep will always end when I get back to the bottom, okay? That'll be a little more important for the next exercise, for the next superset that we have. But I want to go with 6 reps on this sword pull for each side. So we're going to get 6 and 6, and then we're going to go right back into our lateral leg raise or our outward knee presses, okay? So get yourself situated here. I have my weight ready. I have my body twisted in my athletic position. We're going to get 6 reps on each side in 3, 2, and 1. Ready? Coming up and out. Back down. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Very good. Let's switch sides here and go right into the other half. Ready? Coming up, back down. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Very good. Now in the past class, I have gotten ahead of myself and I'm already thinking about the next set of the next exercise, and I completely forget to do the second half of a sword pull or another exercise that involves 2 sides of the body. So if I do that, just unmute yourself and yell at me, tell me to do the other half of the exercise, right? So outward knee press, hands are banned, or the leg raise, all right? Take a couple seconds to get situated. We're gonna knock out 20 reps together here in 3, 2, and 1. Ready? I'm coming out and slightly back, back in. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Switch legs if you're standing. Go right into it. 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, and 20. Very good. Everybody relax there. Very nice. Now I'm going to move this chair out of my way so I don't accidentally hit it. And we're going to go into our last set of those sword pulls. All right? So I'm getting set athletically. Got my dumbbells to one side. We're going to get started in 3, 2, and 1. Ready? Coming up, back down. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Let's switch sides here. Go right into it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Very nice. Now grab a sip of water for me here, class, if you haven't already. Catch your breath if you need to. I'm going to go into our second superset of the day, all right? We're probably not going to get to our third one. That's fine, all right? This first week, we're taking our time, making sure everybody's on the same page with what we're doing, all right? So our second superset is going to be the mirroring exercises to those first 2, all right? We worked on using the outer muscles here to push our legs out to the side or our knees out to the side. Now, we're going to do the opposite. Here's where the pillow is going to come in, all right? And I remember I'm always going to be using this donut. And my philosophy here, as far as, you know, balancing the work that there is to be done between the outer thigh muscles and hip muscles and the inner thigh and hip muscles, is that we need to be getting twice as much work on the outside as we do on the inside. Okay, and if you're really curious as to why that is, you can certainly ask me. It has to do with alignment of the knees, okay? If we're letting our knees cave in, there can be a lot of problems, all right? And again, if you want to know more about that, you can always ask me. But for this, you know, we did about 10 reps on each leg for that lateral leg raise. We're going to do about half that for the squeeze. And in the past, we've done an isometric here as well, right? Where we just hold it and we remember to breathe. Here, I want to get multiple squeezes going in and back out, okay? And what we're gonna do is we're gonna do 5 really good squeezes. And I want you to really squeeze that pillow. Don't hurt yourself, okay? But I want you to make this exercise as intense as you feel comfortable, all right? I want that to be a little higher, right? That's why we have a lower number of reps as well, all right? So from the side here, we're gonna work on having good posture, okay? Just like always. We're gonna give a good squeeze for 5 reps. And then we're going to move into our next exercise, which is the mirror of our sword pull, all right? The mirror of the sword pull is the wood chopper, okay? And I'm going to move this out of the way. So in this set, the weights here, we're using those heavy dumbbells for 6 reps. We're going to be starting up top, okay? And I'm going to have to scoot back a little bit. But we're starting up top with our belly button twisted now. We're going to chop down low. Belly button follows, and then coming right back up to the start. Now, here's where knowing where I'm going to count the rep is important, right? So when we get to that 6th rep and we chop down, I don't want you to just relax and be done from there, okay? We still have to bring that weight back up. There's 2 sides of the rep, all right? It's not just the chop, it's the bringing it back to the starting position, all right? So make sure that you're actually doing 6 reps instead of just 5.5. Okay, so why don't we just go ahead and start with the wood chopper. We'll do 2 sets of 6 here, 2 sets of 5 on the pillow squeeze, and then we'll go into our cardio for the day, all right? So I have my heavy dumbbells again, both of them here instead of just one. I'm gonna bring my weight up above my head here, get my belly button twisted. We're gonna get 6 reps on each side in 3, 2, and 1. Ready? Chop low, bring it back up, that's 1. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Let's bring that weight over to the other side. Get the other 6. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Finishing up top. All right, that's 1 set down. We got 1 more of those to go. I'm gonna find my chair back, and I'm gonna find my quote unquote pillow, all right? I have used this thing as a pillow for taking naps before. It's not that comfortable because my head ends up like this while I'm sleeping. But nonetheless, this is gonna be my pillow for the semester again. Now, like I said, we're gonna get a good squeeze. I want you to hold it. So we're going to do a specific way of counting this one, okay? We're going to squeeze in. I'm going to say 1, 2, 3, and then we're going to relax when I say 3. On the second rep, we'll squeeze in. I'm going to say 2, 2, 3, and then relax on 3. I want to get a good hold there, okay? We call that the climbing method of counting. We're going to go to 5, all right? Find your good posture. We're going to get started together in 3, 2, and 1. Ready? Squeeze that pillow. 1, 2, 3, and relax. Squeeze it again. Ready? 2, 2, 3, 3, 2, 3. I'll give you a squeeze cue. Squeeze. 4, 2, 3. Squeeze. 5, 2, 3. There we go. Sorry for forgetting to give you a squeeze cue on that third rep, right? I will say squeeze, and then I will give you the number. So it'll be squeeze so that you know when to start, and then I'll give the 3 count, all right? I'll get that better for the second set. But let's knock out our wood choppers first. There's no air conditioning in this room either, so I'm sweating pretty good. All right, and I'm actually gonna push this back a little bit so I can scoot back further from the camera. There we go. All right, finding my good athletic position. I got my weights up here. 6 more reps on each side. Ready? Let's go right into it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Bring the weight over. 6 more. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Go ahead and relax. That's 6 reps on each side there. We are done with the dumbbells for the day, unless you really want to have them for cardio. And we're going to get our last 5 pillow squeezes here. Now, we're going to go a little over 10 o'clock today. That's okay. All right, still working through that first week, right? Still getting used to things. We're going to get set up here with our good posture. We're going to get 5 good squeezes together in 3, 2, and 1. Ready? Squeeze. 1, 2, 3. Squeeze. 2, 2, 3. Remember to relax on 3. Squeeze. 3, 2, 3. Squeeze. 4, 2, 3. Squeeze. 5, 2, 3. Very good. So now we've worked the inside of the thigh and hip. We've worked the outside of the thigh and hip, all right? Getting good balance on each side for the workout. Now I'm gonna move this chair out of the way. Grab a sip of water if you need to here, class. We're gonna go over our cardio, all right? The first exercise that I have for us is our half jack, okay? Now there's a couple progressions here as well, okay? The half jack is a progression of our jumping jack, all right? So what I'm gonna do for my level 1 progression is I'm gonna bring my right leg out along with my right arm, okay? Same side of the body, I'll return to the center, and then I'm coming right back out again on the other side, all right? Alternating between the 2 sides there, okay? Now, if I want to make it a little tougher, I'm going to stick one leg out and bring both arms up, okay? This is my preferred progression here, okay? Now, the final step there is going to be our jumping jack, right? So just getting a little jump in there, all 4 limbs coming out and coming back in together, okay? Now, we're going to do that exercise for 3 sets of 30 seconds, all right? I shortened that one up from what we've done in the past. Here's my stopwatch, all right? So 3 sets of 30 seconds. Now the exercise I want to pair with that is going to be our V step. Now I don't have my tape markers in here, and I don't think that the dance instructor would be very happy if I put tape down her floor, okay? So what I'm going to do is just kind of demonstrate this one with my feet, okay? Those of us who've been here in the past will remember the pattern, but I want you to think of this cadence, okay? Wide, wide, narrow, narrow. So you're going to step forward. You're going to go wide, wide. So now I'm in a wider stance than I was before. And then narrow, narrow. I'm stepping back behind me to where I started. Narrow, narrow. Ending in my same starting position I was in before. Okay? Now you can alternate which leg you start with. If you want to start with the left foot and then go back to the start, okay, you can do that as well. Whatever you really feel comfortable with. Now, how do we modify that exercise, right? How do we make it tougher or easier? Okay, there's 3 really specific ways that we talk about pretty frequently, right? We can get lower, okay? So you get a little more bend to the hip and knee as you do that. You're gonna make your muscles work harder, okay? Another way is speed, okay? If you step out quicker, right? You can get lower and go faster, okay? That's another way. Another way is distance, okay? So not just getting lower and faster, but stepping out with bigger steps. Okay, I might have went off camera there, didn't mean to, but right, bigger steps there is another way to modify that. I want you to do this exercise in a way that keeps you comfortable, right? In a manner that you can maintain for 45 seconds, right? Because I want you to have the same intensity at the end that you have at the beginning, right? So if you notice that you're starting your set and you're kind of petering out about 30 seconds in with 15 seconds left, you might want to start a little easier at the beginning, okay? A little lighter at the beginning. That one's going to be for 3 sets of 45 seconds. So 30 seconds for the jack progression, and then 45 seconds for the V-step progression, all right? So we're going to do 3 sets of that one. I want us to start off with the half jack, all right? Remember, we have one side, all right? Both arms and one leg, or the full jumping jack, all right? We're going to go ahead and get started in 3, 2, and 1. Ready? Go ahead. 30 seconds here on your jack progression. Pick whichever exercise you prefer, not just the one that I'm doing. Remember to breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth. And we didn't get to do cardio together, some of us, on Monday. So this might be the first time doing this in the live session. Checking my time. Got about 8 seconds left before we transition to the V-step. 3, 2, 1. Relax and reset. Go right into the V-step. Wide, wide, narrow, narrow. There we go. I'm not going to repeat that cadence. I don't want to screw people up there at home. There we go. Right into that V-step, 45 seconds. We still have 30 seconds left here on this set. We've done 1 set of each exercise. I'll give you a countdown here before we get our next transition. Got about 15 seconds left here, class. Keep that breathing. Keep the intensity from beginning to end. Very nice. 3, 2, 1. Relax and reset. Back to the jack progression. 30 more seconds. And here's where I was saying before, if you really, really want to hold your dumbbells, you can. But I wouldn't recommend it here for the half jack. Not for 30 seconds. Very good. Checking my time. Got about 5 seconds left here, class, before our next transition. 3, 2, 1. Relax and reset. V-step for the second time here, class. 1 more set on each exercise after this one here. Remember your ways to modify, right? Get lower to the ground. Go a little quicker. Or step out farther, okay? Whichever you prefer. Stay comfortable, but challenge yourself for the full 45 seconds. Still got 15 seconds left on this set before our last set of the half jack progression. Very nice. Keep that pace, keep that breathing here. 3, 2, 1. Relax and reset. 1 more time on that half jack or jumping jack, whatever you're doing there at home. You might be feeling your outer thigh and hip muscles working a little bit here, right? That's the theme of the day. Our frontal plane, right? We are moving through the frontal plane of our body right now, right? Working on stability with the outer hip and thigh muscles. Checking my time. We're going to transition back to the V-step in 3, 2, and 1. Relax and reset. V-step. Last time through. I like to get comfortable here, class, and just kind of go through with my right foot starting each time. You can go with the left foot, or you can start 1 rep with the right and then start the other rep with the left. That'll kind of make your brain work a little bit more. About 10 seconds left here, class. Keep it up. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. Go ahead and grab a sip of water here, class. Catch your breath if you need to. And what I typically do here, right, we didn't get to do this on Monday, is I'm gonna switch out of this view and go to the gallery view, all right? It's my belief that a cool down, which is what's coming next, is not very beneficial when we are winded, okay? So what I'll do here is wait for thumbs up, and I'll check. And you don't have to turn your camera on if you don't want to, right? I'm never gonna force you to turn your camera on. But if you're comfortable with your camera being on, yep, let me know when those thumbs are, or when you're ready by, yep, putting the thumbs up. Perfect. Very good. And I gotta really look so I can see those thumbs there. I think we're ready to go. Thank you. So I'm gonna go back to this view and go full screen. Now our cool down, our first stretch in our cool down today here, class, is gonna be our back scratch, right? We talked about that in the warm-up, and actually we did it already with the assisted back scratch with the stick, okay? Now here, I am the king of setting things down and forgetting where they were. Now, finally found my stopwatch again, but back scratch. I want you to start with your dominant side, okay, whether that's left or right. That arm is gonna come up and over. The other one's gonna come down and around. And remember, I'm gonna give a side view here so that you see I'm not hunching over when I do this. I wanna keep my chest out, keep the shoulders pinched, okay? We're only gonna hold this for 20 seconds because holding the arms above the head presents a breathing challenge that we don't need when we're stretching, okay? So we're still gonna do it, but we're just not as long as we would for other stretches, okay? My favorite timing is 30 seconds for the majority of our stretches here, okay? But 20 seconds on each side for this one. So I'm gonna bring my right arm up and over, my left arm down and around. And we're gonna go ahead and get started for 20 seconds. Go ahead and start if you haven't already. Showing you my back view, right? I'm reaching my fingertips together in the middle of my upper back. Now my side view, I'm staying nice and tall, okay? Keeping my chest out, pinching the shoulders. 3, 2, 1, relax. Very good. Let those arms come down with control, right? So when we relax from that stretch, I don't want you to just come down, all right? I want you to come out nice and slow, okay? Now, let's do the same thing on the other side, okay? Now my left arm is going up and over, and my right arm is going down and around. Go ahead, 20 more seconds. Now you see here, my fingertips are touching, okay? That's the goal for this stretch. If we're not having the fingertips touch, that's okay, all right? Just means that we have room to improve with our shoulder flexibility. 3, 2, 1, relax. And like I said earlier, right, I have bad shoulders. So just because I can reach my fingertips together doesn't mean my shoulders are healthy, all right? I have stability issues with my shoulders. So that'll be something to keep in mind. Now, again, kind of going with the theme of the workout, all of our stretches in our cool down are going to be mimicking work that we did in the warm-up and the workout, right? We want those things to track onto each other, all right? So we did a lot of twisting today, sword pull and wood chopper. I want to complement those two exercises with a rotational stretch. So I'm actually going to use the wall here. Usually I do my mime work, but I think for some of us, maybe having done this stretch for the first time, might want to see me at a wall. Okay, and this is kind of difficult. I used to have interns here that would be my camera people. I don't have that anymore. So I also need to avoid this thing. But what I'm going to do here is I'm going to get set athletically. And you see here, my body's facing forward. I've got my wall kind of running perpendicularly to my body. I'm pretty sure that's a word. Perpendicularly, all right? But I have the wall running at my side here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get my hands up and out. Hopefully you can see me. And I'm going to twist and place my hands on this wall here. So I'm getting a stretch on the opposite side of my torso to where I'm reaching, okay? Now, for some people, you know, just twisting and reaching your hands out isn't really going to get much of a stretch, right? It depends on the individual person. It depends on your range of motion. Okay, so what you can do in that case is some people like to reach here and then they reach back further, okay? or they'll reach here and then they'll reach up and back, okay? So do whatever you have to do to get a good stretch. On the opposite side, I'm taking paint off the wall here. Didn't mean to do that. But yeah, just get a good reach here on that side, and then we'll do 30 seconds there, 30 seconds on the other side, all right? Let's go ahead and go right into that stretch. Ready? Go ahead if you haven't already started. Now you want to really be focusing on your breathing, in through the nose and out through the mouth. Still got 15 seconds left here, class. Going to a point of mild discomfort, never pain, right? Find that range of motion where you feel the discomfort from the stretch. If you're feeling pain anywhere, refrain from going that far, and then let me know at the end of class if anything's hurting. 3, 2, 1, relax. Very good. Now here, I'm gonna go back to my mime work, okay? So when I say mime work, that's where I'm pretending I have a wall with me, right? I'm not an actual trained mime. Put it back on this box here. There we go. So, turn your body so the other side of your body is running alongside the wall, all right? And then we're gonna do the same thing going that way. Go ahead and start if you haven't already, all right? I've got my pretend wall here. Now, one thing I say a lot about this stretch is we're working on getting good rotation of the torso, good rotation of the spine, and you want to think about, you know, your chest and shoulders should be facing the wall while your lower body stays facing forward, okay? We want to be able to dissociate rotation of the upper body from rotation of the lower body. That's something we'll talk about more in the future. 3, 2, 1, relax. Very good. So, moving on from there, we got our shoulder stretch, right? And the shoulder stretch really helps with our sword pulls and our wood choppers as well, because those shoulders are working quite a bit in that exercise, those two exercises as well. We got our rotation. Now, we want to focus on the lower body a little bit here too. So, with these ones, I have a chair option and a floor option, right? Because some individuals may not be comfortable getting on the floor, all right? So, the chair option that I have to work on our outer thigh and hip, we call the waiting room stretch, okay? And we call it that because, you know, when you're in a waiting room somewhere, we sometimes see people sitting like this, okay? They've got one leg crossed over the other. Now, this, again, this might not be the most comfortable position. So there's 3 areas of the leg where we can cross over. The bottom level here is going to be at the ankle, right? I can cross my left leg over my right at the ankle, okay? I can also cross below my knee, right? We're just modifying how much of a stretch there is on that part of the body. And the final progression there is putting the leg where I had it before over top of the knee here on the other leg. Now, we're going to be trying to feel this stretch in the outside of the hip and possibly even in the hamstring here, okay? I'm going to turn to the side. Not only are we going to get this leg to cross over at one of those 3 points, but we're also going to keep our good posture, and we're going to get a good lean forward, okay? And the lean forward is what's really going to get that stretch in there, okay? Now, if you'd rather be on the floor than be in the chair, we can get a very similar stretch here, and this one's a lot more common, and I'm sure you've all seen it before, but I can cross my leg over here on the floor and then scoop my plant leg or my base leg closer to my hips. Now I'm getting a good stretch in that exact same spot, okay? So I'm gonna do one version of the stretch for our first 30 seconds. I'll do the other version of the stretch for the last 30, okay? So pick whichever one you prefer. We're gonna go for 30 seconds on each side in 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead. So this one's just called our seated figure 4, right? Because we're kind of looks like a number 4 that we're making with our legs, sort of. You kind of move your head around. But like I said, the other one there in the chair, we call that one the waiting room stretch, and they're both getting the same thing, right? One is just a modification of the other. Got 5 seconds left here, class. 3, 2, 1, relax. Now, if you're already on the floor, just go into the same stretch, but for the other side. If you're in the chair, stay there too. I'm not gonna go to the chair, all right, and demonstrate the other one. So 30 more seconds, go ahead. Remember, if you're in the chair, keep that good posture. You wanna get that good lean forward while keeping that back safe in that good neutral position. Big chest, pinch the shoulders. Remember to breathe here as well. We've got 10 seconds to go. I want to get one more stretch in here today, class. 3, 2, 1, relax. Very good. So the last stretch that I have for us is going to be for the inner thigh, right? And I have a standing version of this stretch, but I actually want us to try this seated version today. We'll do the standing version on a different day. But from this seated position, and I have a floor version here too, so if you're already on the floor, you don't have to go up to the chair. I'll demonstrate the second one after this. But from the seated position, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get my feet out a little wider, okay? And hopefully you can see I'm digging my heels in, I'm lifting my toes up gently. Okay, and I'm gonna get pretty wide here. Make sure you're not gonna slide off the front end of your chair, okay? Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna lean to one side, okay? There's a couple moving parts to this. So when I lean to the side, I'm keeping my back nice and flat. Right now I'm leaning toward my left leg. So this leg's gonna bend a little bit. You see my toes come down, all right? This leg is now bearing a little more of my body weight, okay? This leg is gonna lengthen. Okay, and when it lengthens, I'm now gonna try to touch my toes to the floor, and I'm going to twist away from my lengthening leg and try to get a nice stretch in the inner thigh there, okay? So get that nice stretch in that inner thigh. And again, if we have questions about this stretch, you can ask me after. This one's a little bit tough. Even for the face-to-face clients, I had to go over it a couple times before we really got it, okay? Because it's kind of an awkward position. Now, if you'd rather be on the floor, a stretch that I kind of completely forgot about for the whole summer is our butterfly stretch, okay? This is something you've probably seen in a lot of yoga, okay? But I've got my soles of my shoes, kind of squeaky, soles of my shoes here pressed together. I got my good posture. I'm just letting my knees fall out to the side and getting a good stretch there, okay? So what I'm gonna do, because we have a stretch that involves one side and then stretching the other, I'm gonna have those of you who choose the butterfly, you're just gonna hold this stretch the whole time, all right? And the way I'm gonna leave this is we got the butterfly stretch going for some people, and we've got the seated groin stretch going for others. I'm gonna go for 30 seconds on each side, and I'll let you know when to switch. If you're doing the butterfly, you're gonna go for 60, all right? So, toes are up, lean to one side here. Now the foot goes flat, okay? I'm leaning to one side. I'm putting my toes down on the other leg, and I'm twisting away from my lengthening leg, the one that stretches out, all right? 30 seconds here. Go ahead and start if you haven't already. And again, as we go, class, right, these exercises will become more and more familiar for everybody, right? And then we'll be able to kind of breeze through them a little faster. 10 seconds left before we switch. Remember, if you're on the butterfly, you're just gonna hold that position for a little longer. 3, 2, 1, relax and reset. Switch sides here if you're doing the single leg. Go ahead. And again, if you have questions on anything, technique for an exercise, right? How to set up for a stretch, maybe something hurts, let me know. You can also email me if you want to, but if you want to just ask me after class, that'll work too. 10 seconds left. 3, 2, 1, relax. Very good. That's all that I have for you for today, class. I want to thank you all so much for participating.